Hey everyone, welcome to this live workshop, Learn How to Sell Your Art. So I'm very, very excited about this because who doesn't want to sell more art? I know I want to sell more art. You want to sell more art. I don't know an artist alive that doesn't want to sell more art. And so I think after today, you're going to have a very clear direction. In fact, at the end, we're going to leave you with some homework. And those are some very practical things that you can implement, and I believe it will make a shift in your art sales. It will, um, you know, really do something for you. And I think you're going to be pretty inspired after this workshop. So, um, want to introduce Tanner. So we have Tanner here. He is on the live chat. So that means that you can ask questions. And Tanner, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. I'm here. Jake's not here because I am. So it's going to be better.
Okay, so Tanner is going to save questions, answer some questions in the chat, by typing away. So go ahead and introduce yourselves, tell us where you're listening from, and just feel free to utilize that chat. So this is really interactive, and you'll have an opportunity to ask me anything, and I will do my best to answer it. So. Let's get started. I want to ask you guys a question, and you can share in the chat your answer here. How do you currently feel about your art sales? Do you feel very confident and you're just really doing great and you just want to kind of keep doing what you're doing and you're here to sort of hear some new input? Are you somewhat confident? You know, things are going pretty well, but you're open to some new ideas. Not very confident, or I don't know even where to start. So let us know in the chat how you're feeling about your art sales. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you are, really excited because you just sold something for the first time and now you're just really ready to dive in. So we would love to hear from you how you're feeling. All right. So just an overview of the what we're going to do today is I'm going to share a little bit about my history and some challenges that I overcame and how I was able to sell more art. We're going to identify some challenges. We are going to talk about how you can build more confidence, because what you're confident for, you can do, right? And being a confident artist, not cocky or arrogant or prideful or egotistical, but confident, true confidence. How do you get there? And most of the artists I know, they really, really wish they had more confidence in their art, in their ability to sell art, and their belief in their own dream of being able to be a full-time artist, be able to share what's on their heart, what their art is about with the world, and have it be appreciated and loved by your audience, so much so that they'll give you money and put your artwork on their wall. And having the confidence that that can actually come true for you. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about increasing your productivity, how to be more productive, how to paint more, how to put more out there, and then how to convert interest into sales, which is, a big part of this. So we will have a Q&A at the end, which we already talked about, and so we'll save time for that. Okay, so I want to cover those aspects in my own career, identifying the challenges, how I built confidence, and how I increased my productivity, and how I converted interest into sales. So this is my husband, John. He's also an artist, a full-time artist, and we met while I was in high school, and we both have enjoyed a nice long career, 30 years so far, of being professional artists. So how we got started is these were the paintings I did when I was in college, and they're pretty cool for college art, but they weren't very sellable. And this was my husband's art, and so it also wasn't very sellable. And our main challenge that we identified is that it was hard to sell our art because really nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted to live with it. Nobody wanted to see these images on their wall. And we had to start thinking about our artwork as a service to others and not just for ourselves and then expect to sell it, necessarily. So we just really weren't making sellable art. So we realized that, and we drastically switched gears because we were tired of waiting tables and delivering pizzas, and we wanted to be full-time artists. And a lot of our art school friends told us we were sellouts because we made sellable art, and we made, friendly, nice, pretty landscapes, or what they called couch art. But we felt really good about it because we were making a living doing what we love to do. And we knew a day would come when we could really share our voice and that would be appreciated. It just was, we had to figure out how to make sellable art. So this was some of the images that we made. This is John's art here that he actually got published with a licensing agent, and they were made into all kinds of different products. So being able to publish and license our work helped us leverage our productivity. We basically multiplied our efforts through licensing, and that meant that our images were sold on lots of different products. And so, you paint your one original, but then the image is sold many, many times over. These were some prints that I did for various companies like Target or Pier 1 Imports, places like that. And then we started to really begin to get more into the fine art market and less of the decorative market, and really begin to find our voice and know what our art was really about, and kind of merge the idea of what was on our heart, what did we want to say, with what would actually sell, because we had that knowledge of what would sell. And we began collaborating, John and I, on the same piece, and we did a lot of abstracts for many years that were really deep and profound to us, but they also, would sell. So we saw a lot of interest in our art, and we learned how to convert that interest into sales. We did that initially through galleries and art shows, and we also did it by learning how to talk about our art. So understanding that artists, collectors were interested in knowing what inspired us. And so in all the different gallery shows that we did and meeting different collectors, we were able to really understand how to talk about our artwork. So this is some of the artwork we did after that. That was in various galleries all over. We were in galleries all over the US, some in Europe, mainly in the UK, a little bit in Sweden, Spain, Germany, but most of it was the United States. In our career, we together, my husband and I, have sold over 10,000 pieces of art. And we did this because of the steps I'm going to show you. And basically, being very, very productive. I don't think you can sell 10,000 pieces of art if you're not extremely productive, and you have to make a lot of art. So because we were having this success and we were selling so much art, a lot of artists along the way that we would meet wanted to know how we were doing it. And they kept asking us, how can I sell more art? What are your secrets? Tell us more. And we didn't really have a platform or a way to share that. And we didn't have a YouTube channel, we didn't have a school, we didn't have a way to really share our knowledge with people. So we started to dream about how could we help artists, what would that look like? And we decided in 2010 to open Milan Art Institute because we really wanted to help artists turn their passion for what they love to do most into a full-time profession. And we saw that as a huge need, and that a lot of artists were really, great, really passionate, but they just didn't know how to actually sell their art and build a career. So that's why we opened the school. In 2014, we created an entire program called the Mastery Program. So it's a one-year program that takes anybody at any stage, whether it's beginner or advanced or intermediate, through this process of becoming a professional artist. So it's a fantastic course. In 2018, We brought it online because people from all over were coming to us in Arizona, where the school was located, wanting to learn from us. And there was a lot of limitations in that because there was people in other countries that couldn't come to the United States, or they couldn't relocate, and not everybody that wanted to learn from us lived in Arizona. So that's why we brought it online in 2018, and now we've taught thousands of artists all over the world how to turn their passion for art into a profession through the mastery program. So later on, in addition to galleries, we started really learning how to use social media and how to use how to tell our story and communicate about our artwork in other ways through digital media. And so we learned how to convert interest into sales by building up social media and really building up a personal brand. So this is some of the artwork I've done to recently, and John and I still collaborate, but we also paint our own paintings. So we do a bit of both. Okay, so let's talk about you and you being able to identify your own challenges. So each of you will fall into, this will resonate. Some of this will resonate with you. Maybe all of it will resonate with you. Maybe just a portion of it. So you're in the next few slides, want to identify what are your challenges. What is really blocking you from making those sales? So, what aspects of your career are you most eager to improve on? Do you want to create more art? Maybe you're making tons of art. You just need to sell it. Maybe you just need more visibility, and you need help gaining visibility. Maybe you just need more time management, so that you can direct that time towards getting more visibility, getting your artwork out there, and creating more artwork. So we want to help you with all of that. So be sure to share in the chat and let us know what you're struggling with most out of these options. Or if you can think of something else that you're really struggling with, what is that? Okay, so the three main challenges are: artists just don't create enough art, they don't show their art enough, and they don't know how to convert interest in their art into sales. So those are the three main things that we're covering: how to create enough art, how to get your artwork out there more and show it more, get visibility, and then how to convert the interest that you generate by that visibility into actual sales, right? It's the key. It's really everything you need to know about an art business. Now, there's a lot of content in here, a lot of nitty-gritty things, and so much more. But no matter where you are and what you're learning from, whether it's another course or it's more courses with us, almost everything's going to fall into these basic categories. Okay, so a big key is building confidence, right? So if you're not confident, you're not going to paint a lot. If every time you go to paint, you feel like worried about it, you get that pit in your stomach, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with my painting. It's not looking so good. I don't know how to fix it. I don't even know if I'm going in the right direction. I don't even know why I'm an artist, right? If you're lacking confidence and you just feel sort of bad about things every time you go to paint, then why would you paint? You're not gonna you're gonna feel this sort of calling and this desire to paint, but every time you go to paint, because of lack of confidence, it won't feel good, and so then you won't paint a lot. You'll just talk about it, or hope to paint more, or make excuses for not painting, but you won't actually paint. So we have to deal with confidence and build your confidence. So a big confidence builder that's going to get you painting more is knowing your why. Why do you want to be an artist? How did you get your start in art? What was the main trigger that made you want to be an artist? I know for me, it happened when I was 15 years old, and my dad is Greek, and he's very macho, and he says all the time, "Real men don't cry." He's very, macho man. And the first painting I ever created, I decided to give to him, and when I showed it to him, he cried. And the fact that I made my macho Greek dad cry absolutely wrecked me. It shook me to my core. I could not believe the power of art. I could not believe how just me painting, because it was my first painting. I mean, I guarantee you it was not very good. But how come that made my dad cry? It really touched him. And I don't even know if he knows why it made him cry. And I thought, man, I want that feeling. I want that, the power to move somebody like that on such a deep level for the rest of my life. I will feel fulfilled if I can touch people on that deep level. And seeing that transformation in my dad and seeing, him melt like that just really did it for me. So that is really a big piece of my why. Is just being a part of that whole story of how powerful art is and how life changing it is for so many people, and really how it's changed culture, it's changed the world. And if I could do anything, whether it was a politician or a scientist that made a discovery or, an engineer that built something magnificent, yeah, you can touch a lot of people's life. You can change a lot of lives. But what if I could create art? What if all the art that has been created hadn't been created? We would be living a completely different life. Art prophesies the future. Art dictates the life we will live 20, 50, 100 years from now. That is powerful. That is incredibly powerful. It's powerful that it can move one person like my dad, and it's powerful that it can move a nation. History's proven it. So I was extremely gravitated towards that idea, and I wanted to be a part of it. So that's my why. But you have a why. Your why might be similar. Your why might be completely different. But identifying your why, I think, is a huge, huge key to you becoming confident in your art. Because if you know your why and why you're doing something, then when you do get frustrated, when your painting isn't going right, you can grab onto that, and it'll begin to feel like a purpose. It'll begin to feel like a calling. It'll begin to feel like something bigger than yourself. And it'll be easy for you then to overcome that little tiny challenge that you're facing that day for that bigger reason. So identifying your why is really, really important. I think creating a power statement on a continual basis is going to really help you build confidence. Things like, I was born to be an artist. This is what I'm meant to do. Creating makes me feel extremely fulfilled and happy. I sell my art all the time. It's okay to lie in your power statement because it's a power statement, right? You're saying all the things you want. My artwork sells faster than faster than I create it, right? My paintings sell before the paint is dry. The second I post my painting, somebody wants to buy it. Any of these power statements, whatever you're struggling with, identify what you're struggling with. Maybe it's time management or it's motivated. I wake up every morning with a deep desire to paint. Before I go to sleep every night, I have, I was gonna say I have a brush in my hand, but that's weird. I don't know why you would say that. So that's not a good power statement. But I something about productivity, right? Like I paint, 20 hours a week. You can be very specific. If you want to paint 20 hours a week, say I paint 20 hours a week. But saying these power statements out loud every day will build your confidence and really build your inspiration and your motivation. So declare success over your artwork, verbalize positivity, and I would say cut out the negativity. If you're saying all the time, oh, my artwork never sells, nobody likes my art, I don't even know what I'm doing, I don't even know why I'm an artist, right? If you just have this negativity that's coming, that might be how you feel, those might be your feelings that day, but it's not the truth about you. The truth about you is anything that you lack, you can learn. The truth about you is that you're in progress, you're growing, you have aspirations, and you can meet those aspirations. You have dreams, and your dreams can come true. It's just a process, and you're in that process. So try to minimize the negativity, and you will see a whole new world will open up to you. Okay, so building confidence with a creative mindset. So the things to do are embrace challenges, see the challenges as opportunities, and learn to grow, and rather than seeing them as obstacles. Um, Seek inspiration continuously and practice regularly. So that means do something creative every day, every day. Even if it's writing in your journal, or it's doodling on something, or maybe it's actually, sitting at your easel and doing an oil painting. Maybe it's creating and collecting sources, thinking about your art, writing about your art, showing your art to somebody. Do something art related, creative every single day. Make it a practice, make it a habit, make it something that you can't live without, make it an addiction. Once art becomes an addiction, that's it, you've made it. Art needs to be an addiction, something you do every single day without fail. So the things that you don't want to do is compare yourself to others. We all are on our own separate journey, and everybody's journey looks different. Some people have really fast growth in the beginning, and then things sort of get slow in the middle. Some people have a slow start. Everybody's different. Everybody progresses and evolves at different time periods. And when you see other people succeeding, other artists succeeding, celebrate with them. That will open up opportunity for you. Don't resist the feeling of jealousy. What is at the root of jealousy is this feeling of lack, that it can't happen to you. So really resist that, because when you agree with the idea that it can't happen to you, and so you feel resentful, then you've closed the doors to all kinds of opportunities that will come your way. So, and don't try to resist having fear of failure, or fear of success. If you recognize that as one of your challenges, I really am afraid to fail. I'm afraid to start this painting because what if it doesn't turn out? You know what you need to do? Make at least 5 terrible paintings, just one after the other. Just boom, 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 get it out of the way. Okay, just face your fears and deal with it instead of being under it and letting it rule over you. So having fear is normal, it's natural. Almost every artist I know deals with it. I've dealt with it, but you can overcome it. Fear is meant to be overcome. That's what's going to make you great. That's what's going to make you an amazing artist that doesn't have a big ego, is the process of overcoming that fear. But you have to get on it. You have to start today overcoming that fear. You can't avoid it and hope it goes away. Negative self-talk. So we already kind of covered that. You want to avoid the negativity and the negative self-talk. Try to replace it. Whatever negative conversation is happening, replace it with a positive one. Okay, so a tremendous confidence builder that will really, really help you with your belief is productivity, being disciplined, creating habits, and just doing it, setting a goal and hitting that goal. Even if your goal is, I'm going to finish that painting this week. No matter what, I'm going to finish that painting this week. I've had it tinkering with this painting. It's going to be finished. And when you meet that goal, it makes you feel confident. It makes you feel like, wow, I can do things. I'm really capable. Set another goal. Be a goal-setting machine. Set a goal, meet your goal. Set a goal, meet your goal. Set goals at first that you know you can meet, and then start setting higher goals and goals that stretch you, and your confidence will bloom. Okay, so setting goals and achieving them really builds confidence. Building a good routine. Wake up early, go to sleep early. Try your best to build success habits, discipline habits. There's so many great books out there. There's a book called Atomic Habits. That's a fantastic book. Another book I highly recommend is Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. Discipline is Destiny. Fantastic. If you struggle with discipline, that book is for you. And here's the thing. Time management, discipline, everybody struggles with that. There's not a person alive that doesn't struggle with that. We've all struggled with it at some point. It's just each of us are in various stages of overcoming it. So if you are an extremely disciplined person, you probably weren't always that way. So if you aren't disciplined, it's not that you were just born that way and this is who you are. Everybody was born that way. We have to be taught discipline, and we have to we have to build the habits that help us to be a disciplined person. Learning about time management. There's a lot of great books about time management. Your main objective right now is to identify your challenges. I would write them down. If you have a pencil and paper with you right now, I would write down anything that's resonating with you. Write it down, because that will solidify it as something you need to work on. And the beautiful, magical, empowering, wonderful thing here is that you can work on it. You can overcome any challenge you have. So can I. And that's what I really love about artists is you are faced with yourself and you have to overcome things in order to succeed. So write down anything that you are seeing as a challenge so that you can work on it. Time management, there's a lot of great books out there that can help you, but basically controlling your schedule and having the willpower to really obey that schedule, saying no to things, not getting pulled away into other things, not getting distracted, but having the discipline to really, really make a schedule, obey your schedule, follow your schedule, and know how to prioritize. So those are all really important things to time management. So now you need to paint more, right? So increasing productivity. How do you get more output? Because think about it. If you create 2 paintings a year, how much do you have to sell those paintings for to make it worthwhile? A lot, right? You couldn't quit your job and become a full-time artist unless you sold those paintings for at least what, 25, 45,000 each, right? That's a lot to ask for if you don't have a precedent of sales. That would be almost impossible to sell your artwork for that high. Well, what if you painted 2 paintings per week? 2 paintings per week that you finished. That would change things a lot, wouldn't it? That would change a whole lot. You would have every single month 8 to 10 paintings in your inventory that you can sell. For many, many years, if you want to know how on earth did John and I sell over 10,000 paintings so far in our career, it was because we painted 20 paintings a week. We did. For at least 6 solid years, we painted 20 paintings a week every single week. And most of our career, we painted at least 2 paintings every single week. So that's a lot of paintings. And it's learning how to be more productive. And so how do you increase productivity? Well, you need to make a schedule. Block in your time of when you're going to paint. Already decide. I always tell our students, every Sunday night before your head hits the pillow, make a decision. What is your painting time that week? You're about to face your week. Tomorrow's Monday morning. When are you going to paint this week? Are you going to paint 4 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Tuesday, 6 hours on Thursday? What is it? And write it down and then follow it. So make a schedule every single week so that you can be productive. Make a plan. Do you have a plan for what you're painting? It's really hard to get yourself painting if you walk into your studio and there's just a bunch of blank canvases. Have a plan. Work on a series. Get a series in mind. So you have, 8, 10 people that are of a similar subject through. Have a plan. Have some sources ready. Get your color schemes out. Really think about what are you going to paint this week so that it's easy. You can't wait to wake up to go and make it happen. So you want to set yourself up for success. If figure out where is the resistance, what is blocking you from getting into the studio and painting. If you have a plan and you have a schedule, what is stopping you? Maybe it's phone calls all the time or a message you got, your phone's beeping constantly. Don't bring your phone. Put your phone in another room or turn off all your notifications. Figure out what is stopping you, where is the resistance, and let's get rid of it. Okay, so it's really good to know your process. You can write down your process for creating a painting. So your process might look like, I create a source using a combination of sketches, some things I found in books and magazines, and then a main source that I found on Pinterest, and I kind of create a little bit of an idea board, and then I figure out what size I want my canvas. I get my materials together. I work with inks. I work with spray paint, and then I finish it off with oil paint. Well, write all that down. If you know what your process is and how you create a painting from start to finish, it'll be a lot easier to get to work and start being productive. You can also work on multiple pieces at one time. That's a great way to build productivity. I think working on 3 or 4 pieces at one time, all in various stages of process, and maybe over 2 weeks you finish that set, is a great way to work and to stay productive. You can work on a variety of sizes. You can say, all right, I'm going to do 10 paintings this week. They're all going to be done at the same time. So what I do to this one, I'm going to do to that one, that one, that one, like a process or a production. And maybe they're small pieces on paper, and you have a show coming up and you want to have some lower price points that you want to sell. That's a great way to be productive. Give yourself goals and then stick to those goals and aim to hit those goals. Another great way to increase productivity is to get yourself organized in terms of business. There's no better way to start selling your artwork than already thinking just in the production stage that you're going to sell it. And what do you need to prepare to sell it? You need a price list, right? You need to know what your collection is about. What's the name of it? What is this body of work, these 10 paintings, these 8 paintings, what are they really about? What do I want to name that collection? Maybe I can write some blurbs about it, or what they mean to me. Then, titling your artwork, putting a price on your artwork. What size is it? Labeling it, writing the title on the back of your piece. All of these things are preparing you to sell your artwork, and it'll make you more productive. So, okay, now it's time to talk about increasing. I want to say one last thing, though, about productivity. Something I think that stops a lot of people from being productive is skill level. So I didn't have that in the slides, but this might be one of your challenges that you need to overcome is skill. Maybe you don't have all the skills you need. Maybe you're really good at this one thing, but everything else you really don't know how to do. Maybe it's drawing skills, something foundational that's a missing piece. Maybe you really don't know how to oil paint or to paint at all, and all you know how to do is draw. Or maybe you know how to paint, but you don't know how to draw. So there's probably some holes in your skills that might be holding you back. So if you can identify that as your problem, where you're not free to paint anything you want, maybe you really want to paint a waterfall, but you're like, ooh, that's really hard. I don't know how to paint a waterfall. So I'll just paint, fruit, or I'll do an abstract or whatever. So having the freedom to paint anything means you've built those skills. So I would say skills might be one of those challenges that you need to overcome. And the beauty about skills is in a very short period of time, you can learn them. You can learn anything that you want regarding drawing and painting. So, okay, what about increasing visibility? How can you get your artwork out there more? Well, you have to share your art. I know that seems really obvious. Share your art. Well, yeah, duh, I'd love to share my art, but how? Well, there's lots and lots of ways, but I think it's a little bit of an internal decision. I meet a lot of artists that are afraid to share their art. They just don't really want to put it out there. They just feel like they're not quite ready, but they're upset that they don't sell their art. Well, they don't sell it because they don't share it. So that goes back to confidence, and we already talked about confidence, but you have to share your art. You have to get it out there. You have to get it seen. You want to show your work everywhere you possibly can. Constantly show your work. So it's a very big topic, and there's a lot of ways to share your art. Of course, if you are self-representing, you can share your art yourself using social media, using websites, really putting it out there, promoting yourself, contacting different shows and different opportunities that could happen. And we have a bit of this embedded into the homework that we want to send you off with. So we will circle back to this, but there's a bunch of ways to show your art. And that could mean collaborating with local businesses. That could mean getting involved in different Facebook groups. It could mean collaborating with a charity. There's lots of ways to get your artwork out there. So the main thing is be willing to do it and put action behind it to actually do the work. And so we have a suggestion for that a little bit later of how to actually put some action steps in it. But your artwork needs to be seen. And you need to be consistent with your message. So having a consistency of message, I mean, this is what we teach in building a personal brand, but having a consistency of your message will make, when you show your artwork, people be able to recognize it the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth time that they see it, because you're poking them again and again and again with that same message. And finally, after hearing that same message several times and seeing multiple pieces again and again with that message, they're going to go like, wow, I like that message. I identify with that message. This is uplifting. I love this. I need to buy that piece. And so being consistent with your messaging instead of all over the place will help you build traction with showing your artwork and getting out there and visible. People will begin to start recognizing who you are. You want to engage with your audience. So whether you are in person at a show, being personable with people, get people talking, find out, ask questions, learning about people, and hearing how your artwork connects with them, hearing how they feel about your artwork. All these things are really, really important. On social media, you want to comment. You want to build relationships on social media. You want to be sure that you comment back when somebody comments to you. If people message you, engaging with them. So basically establishing your brand and your voice, which should be very authentic, even in your one-on-one personal relationships that you create with people viewing your artwork. So engaging with your audience is really, really important to increase visibility. A great way to increase your visibility is to stop and think, who are my ideal buyers? If I lived in a perfect world right now and I had a magical wand, who would be my ideal collectors? If I could have a party and have 100 of my ideal collectors, they were here, that would really identify with my artwork, who would they be? What are their demographics? What are their interests? What motivates them to buy something? Where do they shop? What kind of clothes do they like to wear? What kind of wine do they like to drink? Where do they even drink wine? Are they active? Are they sporty? Who would identify with your artwork? What are their core beliefs? What's important to them? What are they passionate about? If they got involved in a charity, what would that charity probably be? Then you can go, maybe I'll connect with that charity because my ideal buyer that would connect with my artwork, also connects with this charity. Or maybe I can collaborate with this business, or I can make this association. So identifying who your ideal buyer is a really key, important thing. And this is stuff you would have to write down. You would have to spend some time really thinking about and asking yourself a lot of questions. Who would really like your artwork, and knowing what your message is for that. What type of galleries or stores would carry your artwork? And that's a really tough question. You have to get very honest. Also, it could be that you're not quite ready for that. There is an aspect of your artwork has to be sellable. It has to appeal to somebody. There has to be a group. It can be somewhat niche, but there's got to be a group of people that love your artwork it'll resonate with them. They'll be able to identify with it and the messages. So what are the stores? Can you see it in a store? Can you see it in a shop? Can you see it in a boutique? Can you see it in a gallery or a furniture store? Or where would your art live best? What about where in the country? If we're talking about the United States, is it more Miami? Is it more uh, you know, Idaho? Is it more California? Is it Florida? Where is it Texas? What is the subject matter of your artwork, and what type of people would resonate with it? And then what kind of stores or shops or galleries, what sort of spaces can you see your artwork in? So think about people, think about spaces to really identify where this artwork could go. And if you can't identify that, if there's no way to identify that, it's just, I don't know, then your artwork might need a stronger voice. That might be part of your challenge. That might be something you need to write down. How can you bring yourself more into your artwork? How can your artwork have a stronger voice so that it will resonate with someone? Um, okay, so let's now kind of move into different marketing techniques. So sharing your brand. What are some ways to share your art, share your brand with other people? Having weekly emails, having daily social media activity, creating process videos, sharing your process, sharing your personal life or your family life content, and some behind the scenes stuff. So I'm going to show you some examples of these. And the main thing is art buyers, collectors, people who love art are not just in love with only the artwork. They want to be in love with you. They want a relationship with you. They want to know you. They want to know a little bit more about you. They're not just buying art that they like. They also want to get to know the artist and what inspires you and what are you like. So that is important to know, especially if you're going to use social media, if you are going to really self-represent and build a personal brand. That is very important. So example of weekly emails are, for Milan Art Institute, we send out a Motivational Monday. It's a weekly email. I write the Motivational Monday. It's something that I write directly to artists that is hopeful, uplifting, inspiring. It makes them feel like they can do this. And that is a weekly thing that we send out to people, that the people who open those emails and read those emails on a weekly basis, they look forward to it. Maybe some of you in the chat have received one and it's helped you. That is an example of a weekly email. Another one that I personally do for my art website is the Artist Odyssey blog. So I write a blog every single week, and it is an uplifting, inspiring story about my life, about my artwork, something I'm going through. It's a blog, and it is meant to give hope, to inspire people, to make people feel empowered, to make them feel connected with their destiny. And this blog is not just for artists. This blog is for collectors. This blog is for anybody who identifies with the message behind my artwork. So the keys to a successful email campaign are this. So you can take a screenshot of this. You can get your phone and snap a picture, because I think this will serve you well if you hold on to this. You want to give value and not just discounts and sell. If every week you send out an email that's like, this time only, 3-day print sale, make sure you get one while they last, right? People get jaded to that. They go, oh, that's Susie. She's selling me her art again, right? You don't want that. You want to give value. So give something valuable, like Motivational Monday, like Artist Odyssey. Those were two examples of giving value. It could be that you're a really funny person and you tell a joke every single week and you make somebody laugh every single week. That could be your value. It could be that you offer a recipe. Maybe you paint a lot of food and still lifes. Maybe you offer a recipe from your grandmother or a recipe you came up with. But giving something of value that somehow connects people with your art is a really important thing. You want to educate or enlighten. You want to use a personal tone. This is directly from you. So don't make it sterile or, like the newspaper wrote it. You want it to come from you, from your heart, authentic communication. Okay, be authentic. Offer exclusive content, right? So people that follow your weekly email, they're on your mailing list, they get exclusive content. I'm just letting you guys know this just for you. You have 20% off my prints or 10% off my prints, or just for you, I'm giving you the inside scoop on something that happened, but you're not going to post it on social media for everybody to see, right? So exclusive content. Ask for feedback. Have a dialogue. If you do a blog like I do, it's open. People can write comments under my blog and share what this meant to them or an experience that they had. So asking for feedback. Give a clear call to action. So have them do something. Share this weekly email with somebody that you care about. Uh, be sure to check out my new original that's just released. Be sure to say hi to me on Instagram. Here's my Instagram account. Like have a call to action with each email. That isn't always selling. Okay, be reliable and stick to a schedule. So my artist blog comes out every single Wednesday. So which is tomorrow. So if you want to get on my blog, now's the perfect time because tomorrow you will get a blog from me. So you can go on Ellie Milan, you can sign up for Artist Odyssey, and every week you will get a blog from me. So every Wednesday, people that follow it expect it. They know it's coming. When they wake up Wednesday morning, it is in their email and they have something inspiring to read. So being reliable is really important. Okay, so daily social media activity. So stories, reels, posts, posting all the time. Every single day post. If you can manage to post a reel, even if it's not super professional and it's just you talking to the camera or you walking around showing people your art, if you can manage to post a reel every single day, your social media will grow for sure. So, and over time, you'll get better and better at it and you'll find out what works. And the only way to really get better and better is doing it a lot. That is true for everybody I know with their social media. It's hard to get good at it. It's hard to really understand how it all works if you just think about it or you avoid it. So if you want to get involved in social media and you want a lot of followers, you have to post all the time. Share stories, share reels, and post. This is an example of Rita Vicari. She is one of our graduates from our school, and she, you can check her out on Instagram. She posts a lot of reels. She posts very often. She's very active. She sells her art all the time. She is involved in lots of different shows, and she has a ton of incredible variety of content. So if you want to follow somebody that you can sort of model or go, wow, like let's see how she's posting, she does a fantastic job. And she does a lot of great reels. She does it really all herself. Her husband helps her sometimes, and it's very branded. It is on point to her message, and it's consistent. All extremely important things. So check out Rita. Now, process videos, short videos on how you create your art. It can be varnishing videos, painting reveals. Now, you want to attract collectors, not artists. So collectors don't really care about what brush you used or what technique you're using. It's the romance of your process. So keep it romantic. Keep it like mysterious, but show it. Show your process, but to a collector. Put yourself in a collector's shoes and imagine what they would want to see from you in terms, they want to know about what inspired you. They want to know, not step by step how you did something. I think that should kind of remain a mystery, but what is your process for creating? What are you thinking about? Why are you attracted to certain colors or certain materials? Make your process videos sensual, like sensory. So those are some tips for that. Esther Franchuk is another graduate from the school, from the program, and she does a lot of process videos, but they're not for artists, they're for collectors. So if you watch, everything is very sensual. You see, this drippy paint, and before you know it, it became a painting. she didn't show step by step how you did that, but and she really shows close-ups of the materials. She always has these flowers, and she's smelling the flowers. So Esther Franchuk is a great person to follow on Instagram. And you can, so you probably just want to take screenshots of what you're watching here, so you can look these people up later. And you can see some really great social media content from her. Another great one, Dimitra Milan. She is one of the instructors at the school here, and she is fantastic at social media. She has a very large following, and she posts a lot about her personal life and her family life. And she shares about, her baby and her husband and horses and what she does on a daily basis, because it's what inspires her art, and you see it showing up in her art, and she relates it to her art. So she's a great example to follow if you're not already following her, to see how she shares her life in an authentic way, but that also highlights her artwork. And so her collectors can really get to know who she is, and she becomes very lovable, and so you want to collect her artwork. So behind the scenes, so this is Tanya Abu. She's another graduate from the program, and she does a fantastic job with showing her process, showing all about how she does art shows, and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So you can follow her and get some tips and some ideas on how to create content that's more behind the scenes. So you can get a screenshot of that. Okay, so now you've gotten all this interest, right? You're posting all the time. People are like, wow, I like this artist. Really cool. Does this, how she does that. She has such a cute dog. Okay, they like you. They're interested. They're interested in your art. They're interested in your message. But how do you convert all that interest into sales, right? There's got to be a way to take all that interest and create sales. So here are some techniques on getting sales. Building relationships. You want to build relationships with your followers. You want to build relationships with your collectors, which means you need to communicate with them. That means through email, through messaging, keeping them in mind, communicating with them, talking about them. Hey, I finished this painting today. I thought you would love it based on what you told me before, blah, blah, blah. Or in person, contacting them with it. So building relationships is really important. If somebody has bought your artwork, now it's so amazing. Over the years, almost all of my friends that I've had for many, many years, if I think about how do I know them or how did I meet them, they were art collectors. So I've become very close friends with with a lot of my art collectors, and it's a really great experience. So just think about building lifelong relationships with people because you care about the same things. And so it makes sense that you would be friends. So build those relationships. Share your story and connect with buyers. Be open, be authentic, share your story, share what your art is about. Be specific, be consistent with it in sharing what your art is about and what you care about most. Then you really want to begin identifying who is interested. Pay attention when people comment on your social media. Keep lists of people. Keep aware. Stay aware of who is interested in your artwork. Who is consistently commenting? Who says they love this, they love that, and is cheering you on along the way. Pay attention to who those people are, because identifying the interest and the interest level is really key and really important. And then asking for the sale, creating urgency. They got it. They really need to get this painting because it's not going to be around long. And then following up. So we're going to go into all of that. So after you identify the interest, so that's really, really important. Somebody going, oh yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, I like it. That's not really interested. Okay, that's not somebody who is likely to convert into a sale. When somebody is staring at it for a very long time, let's say we're at an art show and they're staring at it for a very long time, and then they walk around and then they come back to it again and again. That is somebody that is showing a lot of interest. And so you could ask them, well, what do you see when you see this painting? What does it make you think of? How does it make you feel? I would love to know how you're connecting with my artwork. And listening to what they have to say, you can begin to figure out and identify, are they really interested? Once you go, this person is really interested. They really love the artwork. They've told me they love it. They told me it reminds them of their granddaughter and how they miss their granddaughter and they don't get to see their granddaughter very often. I know they made a connection. If they buy this piece of artwork, it's going to make them feel like their granddaughter is near them every single day. This is important. They need to own this, right? If you get to that point, then the next step is trying to flesh out what the objection is. And you can do this in person or through messaging anytime you identify the interest, right? So what I usually say at that point is, wow, you really seem to be connecting with this. I imagine that if you had this on your wall and you were able to look at it every day, you would think of your granddaughter, and your granddaughter wouldn't feel so far away from you, and you would feel that connection with her every day. Sounds like you should buy it. You just tell them they need to buy it. You love this art. You have a perfect place for it in your home. You should just buy it. And what that will do is they'll either go, yeah, I think I am going to buy it, or they will have an objection. And that's not a bad thing. Most artists, as soon as they hear, oh, I would love to buy this, but I just don't have the money, they go, oh, darn. Oh, well, somebody else will buy it, right? You quit at that point. So just because somebody says they don't have the money for it, or they don't have space for it, or they're not sure what their husband would think, or any of those objections, all it is an objection. It's them basically saying, I want to buy it, but I'm not sure I can. Give me the permission. Let me know how I can do this. Let's solve the problem. And that's really what you're doing, is you're helping them overcome the objection. You're not being pushy. You're not, ramming something down their throat they don't want. You've already identified the interest. You already know that they want it. All you're doing is converting that into a sale. So overcoming the objection is basically you helping them solve their problem. That could be 3 payment plans. That could be, well, why don't you take it home, leave me your credit card number, see if it works on your wall, and if it doesn't, bring it back. And if it does, then I'll charge your credit card. It could be, what are some other popular objections? Oh, I wonder what my husband would think. Oh, your husband would want you to have that. That's what husbands love. They love to make their wives happy. You should just buy it. He would want you to buy it. Or, well, why don't you take a picture of it and send it to him? He'd love to buy this for you, I'm sure. So those are some ideas on how you can overcome some objections. So once you've overcome the objection and they seem to be like, yeah, my husband did like it. I sent it to him and he loves it. Then you ask for the sale. Great. So how do you want to use your credit card? Do you want to you move it forward into the sale direction. And you have to be confident. You have to look them in the eye and say, great, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're going to buy this painting. I know you connected with it. This is going to be great. So just basically ask for the sale. It might even mean like, so are you ready to buy it now? Anything that is direct. A lot of artists have a very difficult time with asking for the sale, and they act kind of sheepish about it and just kind of wait around, and they basically wait for the person to take the lead. You have to take the lead. Great, so that's not a problem anymore. How do you want to pay for it? Okay, so converting interest into a sale is not as hard as you think. It just takes practice. Everything takes practice. So you have to paint a lot, get your artwork out there, get some visibility, generate some interest, and then convert the interest into sales. Converting interest into sales does take practice. It takes confidence. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know, wow, this person really loves my artwork and they need to buy it. It means something to them, and their life will become better if they have my artwork. And I always tell people this, if this is your sticky point, if this is what's really hard for you, is knowing that your artwork is valuable to somebody and that it's worth the money you're asking for, and all of that just feels so cringy to you and you just have a really hard time with it, then what you need to do is buy a piece of art. You have to buy a piece of art. Because when you go buy a piece of art and you understand and you experience how that feels and what it's like to get that in the mail and dropped at your door, and you unwrap it and you see what the painting looks like inside, and you experience that whole thing, and you put it on your wall, and you fall in love with it, you'll know how valuable your art is to somebody else. So if you've never bought a piece of art before and you're struggling selling your art, then go buy a piece of art, something you love. Fall in love with something out there and buy it. It will really transform your life, and you will sell a lot more art because you'll know the value of it. Okay, homework challenge. Besides buying a piece of art, homework challenge is to get more visibility, to show your work more. Create a list of 100 opportunities. That might take you a while, but do it. Even if it takes you a whole week to do or 3 days to do it. It'll give you so much belief, so much confidence. You'll look at that list and go, surely something on this list will work. And if right now you're thinking 100 opportunities, how in the world am I going to do that? Well, just start. What are 100 opportunities out there to get your work shown, right? I will get business cards and put my artwork on my business cards. Okay, that's one way, right? You can create business cards and your artwork is on the business cards, and then when you meet people, you'll be able to show your art. So that's one opportunity. What's another opportunity? Well, I could contact galleries. Sure, that's an obvious one. You can contact galleries. What's another one? I can partner with a business. What business can you partner with? So write down that business. What's another business you can partner with? Maybe you think about the people you know. Do you know realtors? Do you know people that own a hair salon? Do you know a restaurant owner? Do you know a lawyer? Who do you know that maybe you can create an opportunity with, a win-win opportunity? So writing down 100 opportunities, once you get rolling in it, once your ideas begin to form, won't be that hard. You can also get 3 other people around you that are close friends or family members and have a brainstorm session. Say, okay, I need to come up with 100 opportunities to show my artwork. Not to sell your artwork, to show your artwork. Okay, that's all you care about, is how can I get my artwork seen? And write down all the ideas. Just start brainstorming. And together, through that mastermind, you will be able to come up with 100 opportunities, I guarantee. So writing down 100 opportunities will really build your belief and your confidence. Think of a weekly newsletter or email that you can send out. What are some ideas that you can put together for that? So launch an email, something that you can consistently do. That is on your homework challenge. Another great thing is get our free 30-day social media content plan. That is, Tanner, do you know how to send a link for that? Or, okay, Tanner's going to put the link in the chat. So that is super easy. Get that, and that will help you create content for social media. So being able to post every day is a great way to, having content to post will help you post every day. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, join our free app in milanart.com. So it's either an app in the App Store, Milan Art, or you can go app.milanart.com. Joining that will get you surrounded with other artists in a thriving community where all these artists are growing, getting better, building their skills, selling art, putting their art out there, positive, encouraging. It's a great community. If you surround yourself with artists that are doing it, that are going places, you can't help but begin to succeed. You can't help but begin to get new ideas and inspiration and motivation to get your art out there, get more visibility, and get more sales. So join our free app. And you can also join the waitlist for the mastery program. So the mastery program, as I talked about earlier, is a 1-year program that teaches you how to build an art career in just 1 year. And it teaches you everything from how to draw, like the old masters with a very sort of academic approach, so that you have freedom to be able to create anything, and you're not just locked into the one thing you can do. You're an ever-growing, evolving artist that's getting better and better all the time because you know how to draw. It's foundational. We also teach you how to oil paint. Whether you already know how to oil paint or you are a brand new beginner in oil painting, you can learn, and there's so many techniques. We teach you all the old masters techniques. We teach you more modern contemporary techniques, all kinds of different techniques in oil painting and different approaches to building a painting with oils, and really advanced color theory, all kinds of ways. So you really get the skills in the first section. And then really importantly is how to build your, here we go. So the first section is drawing and oil painting. The second section is mixed medium voice. So a lot of the things that we were talking about along the way of getting your message together, building relationships with your collectors or with people that fans of your artwork around that messaging, a lot of artists struggle with even knowing what their messages are. Or I kind of know what my message is, but I don't know how to translate that into visual or into paintings. Or, well, my paintings I know are about something, but I really don't know how to talk about that or how to put that or form that into a brand. So knowing your voice is really, really important, and developing your own style, your own unique style that you're recognized for, that people, when they see your name and they see your art, it comes together and they go, oh yeah, that's so-and-so's art, she paints like this. So developing your style, knowing your voice is really important. So in part 2, we cover mixed media. So that's acrylic painting, spray paint, collage, inks, all kinds of mixed media, mark making. And it's very, very contemporary. It's very loose and free, and all sorts of techniques, because you've already had the skills that you learned from part 1. And then you learn how to find your process and your style. So then part 3 is building your portfolio, building a body of work that represents your voice, and how to build your business. So a lot of professional business, how to build your actual career, how to develop those habits. We really go into depth in that. And then part 4 is marketing, promoting, and selling your artwork and building that personal brand. So we go into real depth with that. Everybody who graduates from the program has a website that they've created themselves. They have a personal brand that they've built. They know their voice. They have a 25-piece portfolio. They have a 1-year marketing strategy plan, like a business plan. And so all they have to do is walk that out and enact it. And so it's a fantastic, very comprehensive program that really teaches you everything you need to know on how to have a career. So another thing you could do is join the wait list for that, because registration opens June 1st. And that's when the next intake will be, is June 1st. And in the meantime, you can join the waiting list and get all kinds of incredible free content that will really help you, from get prepared for the mastery program. It'll help you get your studio prepared. There's some really great exercises in there. We teach you how to build your own easel from scratch for about $25. Some really, really fantastic content. So Tanner will put the link to the wait list in the chat as well. And Tanner, so I hope you guys have questions. I want you to get your questions together. We've covered a lot of content here, a lot of different subjects, everything from habits and time management and discipline and being more productive, to getting your artwork out there and more visibility, social media, I mean, we really covered a lot of different things. Of course, in the mastery program, we go into all these things way more deeply with a lot more content. This is just, a free workshop that, is what, an hour, hour and a half. So obviously, we can't cover everything. Um, so, uh, but we did cover a lot of topics. So I bet you guys have some questions, and I would love to answer some of them. Do you have any questions, Tanner, ready or?
Yeah. There was a few questions about pricing, whether you should price per square inch, per how long it takes to complete, effort. Just how do you do it?
Yeah, that is a great question. So how to price your artwork. Um, we go way into depth in this in the mastery program, but I think it's a good idea to create a price list and figure out how do you want to price. You can price per square inch. I think that if you are selling your art very consistently and you are either just starting out or you're in the more starting part of your career. If you're way, way, way established, well, if you were really established, you wouldn't be asking that question. So, in the beginning part of your career, until you are fully established, I think pricing per square inch is a great way to go. Down the road, you can have some special pieces that maybe it's smaller, but it was very, very special to you, or it has some very special materials, or you spent a lot of time on it, or something like that, and it can be priced a certain way, whereas something else that's maybe bigger is priced less. So down the road, you can kind of create nuance there, but I think the best way to price your artwork is per square inch or per square centimeter, and just basically establishing what that is. Anywhere's from, if you're really, really brand new and you um, just really want to get on the board, anything from $1 a square inch. And then I think if you're getting some sales, you can go $2, $2.50, $3 a square inch. Those are some good beginning points. And it really depends on your art. It depends on the materials. It depends on the craftsmanship, the skill level, the sellability of it. So those are some basic guidelines.
All right. Some people were asking questions about selling art like overseas in different countries, or even breaking into markets in like other cities if their local area is not their kind of niche.
Yeah, so we live in the digital age, which is fantastic for artists. So, um, like Esther Franchuk that I told you about, she's Ukrainian. She lives in Ukraine, and she sells her artwork all over the world. So it's really an amazing time that we live in, and there's so many ways to monetize your art, and it doesn't have to be in your town, in your backyard. It can be in the neighboring state or city. It can be in a completely different country. It's wherever you want to go and target and focus your energy and look for opportunities in those places. I have one of our graduates that I'm good friends with, Ritika Arora. She lives in India, and she just got into her very first gallery here in the United States. She's been in lots of galleries in India. She's shown her work in Korea. She's shown her work in Dubai. She's been all over in many, many countries, but she's never shown her artwork in a gallery here in the United States. And she got into her first gallery, and in opening night, she sold several of her pieces in just the first opening night. And so she was ecstatic, of course. And it doesn't matter where you live. She lives in India, and her artwork is selling here in the United States. So that is a fantastic opportunity and wonderful world that we live in.
All right. And back when you're talking about creating more work and being prolific, me was wondering how much is too much? You don't want a house full of art that isn't selling. What's a good balance between creating and selling?
Yeah, that is great. I always tell people you are not even in business until you have 30 paintings sitting in your house. So, with the same quality of work, at the same level, if you have artwork that you did 10 years ago that's like, and then you have, a few fresh pieces, that doesn't count. 30 pieces that were done this year that are at the same level is a good starting point. And I don't even think you should get itchy until you have more than 70. So I think 30 to 70 is a good range of inventory. Um, I say this all the time to our students, and they kind of, some of them look at me like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. And I was just talking with one of our graduates the other day, and I'm doing a show with her at our gallery, and I was asking her, okay, what pieces do you have? Show me what artwork you have. And she's like, well, I've been selling a lot lately. Really, this is all I have left. And she had like 8 pieces to choose from. And I was like, and she's like, I'm painting all the time. They're just selling so fast. I don't have enough inventory. And that is why you need a lot of inventory, because once they start selling, they just sell, 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 and you will be struggling to keep up. And so it's really, really important to not worry about how many paintings you have. You just want to make sure they're at the best quality, and only count them if they're of the same level.
All right. Tom and Jerry is asking, is it okay to sell cheaper in person since you're avoiding shipping costs?
I think you can sell it a little bit cheaper, but if you are, um, and or you can phrase it as like a show special and take 20% off or something like that. But I think any more than 20% is just a sort of a different market.
All right. And a question about the mastery program. Someone's wondering if they can use water soluble oils instead.
Yes, you can. Uh, I just want to, absolutely, but I just want to encourage you that just because I think that regular oil is, I think you have more choices, you have more color choices, the quality is a bit higher, and for most brands. And so if you use non-toxic solvent, which is what we do and what we recommend. So that's a citrus cleaner. There's solvent made out of oranges, orange peels. There's solvent made out of soybeans. They've really come a long way, and they make all kinds of solvents that are completely non-toxic. And so that has, because oil paint itself is not toxic. Water-based, water-soluble oil and regular oil are identical in terms of toxicity. It's the solvent that makes it toxic. So if you buy non-toxic solvent, then you wouldn't have to use water soluble oil. But if for whatever reason you still want to, yes, you can.
Right. Someone asked what your typical schedule looks like to be productive.
Oh, well, I wake up at 5 a.m. Every morning, and usually I wake up before that, but I 5 a.m. is my target. And first thing I do, I used to get up and drink coffee, and I've worked that out of my system now. And so the first thing I do actually is I either paint or write. So I do something creative. For me, I have found that to be my best thing. So I either paint or write, and then I usually, while I'm painting and writing, I'm sort of getting in the mood to connect with God. And so just before I exercise at 7:30, I will connect with God, and maybe I'll journal. And that kind of flows really well out of writing. So then at 7:30, I exercise for a half hour and work out. Then I usually go ride my horse. And then by 9, 10 o'clock, I start work, which can mean all kinds of things. It could mean painting, it could mean filming something, it could mean a meeting, so whatever. And then I basically work all day, and um, I basically work all the time. We were just talking about that before this workshop, and one of the guys on the crew asked, well, why do you guys even work on weekends? And I was saying, well, what you need to do is find something you would do for free. Like, I would do this for free. I would paint for free. Most of what I do now, I would do it for free because I love it so much. You have to find something that you would do for free, and that needs to be your vocation. That needs to be what you do with your life. And so basically, I work all the time. So after everybody else is done working around 5 or 6 o'clock, um, then I will usually paint. I'll read. I'll write. I'll make sources, and go to sleep pretty early. So I try to go to sleep by 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
All right. Someone's Jasmine's wondering, do you think it's important to have a website? Because I currently just sell my art via Instagram.
It just really depends. I think if you're going to use your website, what people have to realize is that a website is basically a cash register. It's not. It's a point of exchange. It's a tool to convert sales, but it is not going to get you say meaning an audience. So people think, oh, I'm going to make a website, and then people will just come because there's a place to go to now. And that is not true. You have to drive people to that website. But it is a great tool to convert sales. You can track people with a website, you can retarget people with a website, you can build an audience, build familiarity, build customers and relationships through your website and all the tools that it can afford you. So, having a website, I think, if you're getting serious about selling your art and self representation, is an absolute must. But of course, you can sell your artwork just through Instagram, but I think you would do a lot better if you used a website. But don't just create a website without the intention of utilizing it. You really have to use the website. You have to maximize all its potential to really get the benefits from it.
All right. Julie Stone's asking, I have more than one style I paint well in. They are selling. Should I identify which one I like most and create my artist identity with only that style?
I think it just really depends. Are the styles so different? Maybe they're not that different. Maybe you can create a bridge between those two styles. You have this style and this style. Maybe you can kind of combine them or create a bridge that's between them. And then now you've widened your reach, but it all makes sense. And I bet if there's enough common threads between them and the messaging and your voice is still carried throughout all of it, then you'll have a wider appeal, and I think that's good, and not too narrow of appeal. But if they're so completely opposite and so completely different, and there is no bridge, then probably one of those styles is not your true style.
All right. Sorry, I just lost it. Okay. One person was asking, if a gallery takes 50% of your profits, do you price your artwork double what you would normally sell it for when selling in a gallery?
No, so your price list is your price list, and what you get depends on where you are in the distribution chain. So if you're selling to a dealer, you might only make 20 or 25% of that retail price. So if you've determined the value of your artwork is $1,000, you might only get $250 if you sell to a dealer. If you sell it to a gallery, you're going to get $500. So you don't double your prices if you're going to work with the gallery, and no gallery is going to want to work with you if your prices change. You have to have an established price list, and it has to be uniform throughout if you want to work with a gallery.
All right. A few people are asking how you make, like, what app you use to make your sources, and we go into source making in the mastery program at all.
Yeah, we go into great depths about making sources, because there's lots and lots of different ways to create sources, and it really has to do with your temperament and what works for you, and that's a big part of your process. So your source making is a big part of your artistic process. When I use a source on the computer, I make that source with a program called Pixelmator. It's basically like Photoshop, but it works with Apple. And it's a little easier to use, a little more user friendly, but very, very similar to Photoshop. So that's what I do. But we go into a lot of depth about in creating sources
All
in the
right.
mastery program.
All right. Someone asked if you include shipping costs in the price of the painting, or if you charge that separately.
Um, that is really up to you. What I like to do is include shipping because I feel like if somebody's paying $5,000 for a painting or $8,000 for a painting, asking for another 200 feels petty. And I just build the shipping cost into the painting and include shipping, no matter where it is. So that's what I do. But if you're selling your artwork for $500 and the shipping is 200, then you're not going to want to do that, and shipping would be extra. So um, maybe think about selling your artwork for 750 and include shipping. I don't know.
Yeah. Someone's asking, how often is the mastery program open if I'm not quite ready to start this June?
The mastery program is open for 3 days at the beginning of the month. So June 1st is the next opportunity to join the mastery program, and then it would be July 1st, and so on. Um, but here's the thing that, and there's a lot of people that have a real plan of action, and they're like, okay, I'm on this month because this is happening in my life, or I'm moving, or whatever, and they want to start the program, and that makes perfect sense to me. But there's other times where I feel like people really want to take the mastery program, and it's sort of calling them, and it's gripping them, and they feel like, yes, I really want to take the mastery program, but they're kind of putting it off because of various fears or concerns, or you don't want to fail, you don't want to get involved in something and really reach for your dreams and touch that thing that can really get you there, and then not have it work out. So people have this avoidance sometimes, and I would be really careful about that, because it could be that discouragement comes and before you do sign up for it, and it could rob you and steal you of your destiny of becoming a professional artist. So I always like to trust my gut, and when my gut is telling me to do something, to follow that intuition, because it's usually the right call. So if you even have if you're feeling that, I would highly recommend just getting on the wait list. It doesn't cost anything, it's absolutely free, and you will be able to like dive into all kinds of content through the prep course, and it'll, I think, help you clarify your decision of when to take the mastery program or if to take the mastery program. So that's what I really recommend you do. um, and I also want to talk about, just real quickly, as these. Did you have any more final questions, or? Okay, so I wanted to touch on the coaching. So in the mastery program, you are not alone. You have included in the mastery program is group coaching. So you have access to a coaching group with other professional artists that have already gone through the mastery program. They've graduated and now they're in their careers. People like the ones that I showed you, like Rita and Tanya Booth. They're in this coaching group and they're there to help you. So it's like having a professional artist right there to get feedback on all your assignments, to get critiques, to get support, to answer questions. There's live Zoom calls weekly that you can, check-ins that you can participate in, and get that feedback and that interaction. So you're not alone, even though it's a fantastic online program that you can take at your own pace, anywhere in the world, and it's extremely convenient and extremely affordable. It includes group coaching. So that is a huge benefit. Another huge benefit to the mastery program is once you join, you can participate, whether you are an active student or you have graduated. You can join and participate in the challenges. So every single month we have these contests where you submit your assignments that you've done into these competitions, and you can win cash money. So we give away every single month $10,000 in prizes to people in these contests. So that is an incredible opportunity. The grand prize is that you get to show your artwork in our gallery here in Sarasota, Florida. So it is a really, really fantastic opportunity. So there's a lot of really great benefits. There's all kinds of bonus content also included in the mastery program, and you have lifetime access. So that means you have access to the program forever, and so you can constantly go back to it, and visit that extra bonus material that we have. So it's a really fantastic program. It is changing people's lives. We hear it all the time. So many people are writing to us and telling us all their success stories and what is the transformations that are happening in their lives. A really great way to see a lot of our graduates is through artsocialgallery.com. So everybody on that online gallery are graduates from the program. And really on the app, you'll meet tons of people on the wait list group on the app, on the Milan app. You can ask questions. You can ask the students, what do you think of the program? I'm sure people even watching this workshop right now, some of you watching are in the program, and you feel free to say what you think in the chat. So it's a great way to connect with other artists, and really find out from the students themselves, what are they thinking, and ask questions, any questions you have. So it's a really great community, I think, isn't it called the waitlist that's in the mastery program waitlist? Yeah. So that's the name of the community in the app, Mastery Program Waitlist. If you join the waitlist, I think you're automatically directed to it. But that is a great place to ask your questions. Every month we do a live in there on the app where you can ask us questions about the Mastery Program. So it's really, really fantastic. And there's really no better time than right now to be alive as an artist. There's so many opportunities out there. And there's really an art movement that's happening all over the world. There's so many collectors, so many people interested in art, buying art, decorating with art, going to art events, going and having art experiences. There's a lot of collectors that have no intention in ever being an artist or selling their art, are going and having these art experiences where they're playing with art. On Instagram and TikTok, you see these art challenges where spouses are painting each other. So there's like an art movement. There's this huge desire to be around art, to own art, to have art, to know artists, to have artist friends. It is a really cool time to be alive as an artist, and there's so many tools and opportunities. And so join our community. Be around other artists who are going places, who are having these goals and succeeding. It'll really, really uplift you. So I hope that you are super inspired and you have your homework ready, and you do what we've challenged you to do. It's been really great being here with you this afternoon, and I appreciate you joining this. And we will see you on the app, and we will see you in the mastery program.